Welcome to Schiff Nature Preserve.
It's one of the best kept secrets in Mendham and Chester, and we're hoping to change that today.
Come along with us as we hit some of the highlights around our preserve.
The hiking trails start at the Nature Center, right near the parking lot. This is the heart of the preserve. It's home to our rescue animals, and where we hold a lot of our programs, including the summer nature camp for kids.
2 years ago, a group of art students at Mendham High School decided to paint it. What's really cool about it is that everything they painted on here is native to the preserve.
This is our native plant garden. People stop in here to get ideas for native plants to put in their gardens. It's also where kids come to catch frogs in the pond and where bands play for our Music in the Woods programs. Most people who visit Schiff start out here on the White Trail because you can pick it up right behind the Nature Center.
Schiff is home to over 700 acres of land in Mendham and Chester.
All of our trails are open to the public for passive recreation like hiking, and some are marked for bicycle riding and horseback riding.
Schiff has a total of 14 marked and blazed trails and many more planned for tracts of land we've recently acquired.
As you hike along the White Trail, you'll see this fence that encloses about an acre of forest.
It's called a deer exclosure because it's designed to keep deer out. Deer eat native plants, so it's much easier for invasive species to take over.
In a few years, we hope to have all the invasive species taken out so hikers can see what the native forest should look like.
From here, we're going to pick up the blue trail and follow it to the left on our way to the lean-to.
The Boy Scouts are an important part of Schiff's history since they originally served as the first national adult scout training center from the 30s to the 60s. A portion of the preserve belonged to the Scouts all the way through the 70s, and many troops still come here to hike, work on badges, and do Eagle Scout projects. This lean-to was built by the local Boy Scout troop.
The Girl Scouts come as well to work on their gold awards.
You come across this bench as you hike down the Blue Trail towards the north branch of the Raritan River on Union Schoolhouse Road.
Schiff has acquired property and land easements that give our visitors access to some of the most beautiful environments in our area.
This is a portion of the Raritan River that runs along Union Schoolhouse Road.
If you're lucky, you'll see a heron along the stream looking for fish.
Lookout Point is a great spot to stop and sit,
especially in the fall and spring when the leaves aren't blocking the view.
From here we'll trek back a bit and head up the hill towards one of the highest points on the preserve.
Here we're at the top of what is called 711 because it's 711 feet above sea level.
About 2 years ago, Schiff acquired an old rock quarry called the Mount Paul Preserve. It has our highest elevation of 815 feet and is located in Chester.
It has a nice pond with trout and a trail to the top of the hill where you can look into the shale pits. It's a great place to watch the night sky. Let's follow the red trail down toward the Great Meadow.
Right here at the junction of the White and Blue Trail is a special place that most kids who come to Schiff know and love. It's called the Pine Tree Grove.
Here there's a carpet of soft pine needles and a lot of covered space, which makes it the perfect place to build forts and shelters, as you can see a lot of kids have done.
It's located right across the meadow from one of the most popular places to picnic, the picnic tables at the Great Meadow.
This is the Great Meadow at Schiff. We've restored this damaged land with native grass because meadow habitats are very important to preserving the wildlife native to this part of New Jersey.
In addition, we planted thousands of seedlings to replace the forest which was damaged by development.
If you look closely, you'll see some bluebird boxes and bat boxes. Bluebirds and bats love a meadow habitat, but there are lots of other animals who love meadows too, like box turtles, fox, and even the occasional bear.
Here you'll see a lot of native plants that attract all kinds of butterflies. We usually see a lot of monarchs around because our milkweed plants are their favorite food source.
From the meadow, you can pick up the red trail, which will take you to the famous 5 Points, a point at Schiff where many trails intersect. But before we get there, we want to mention an important historic site just off the red trail.
This is the Green Trail that leads you to a historic marker that's dedicated to George Washington and his Continental Army.
This is the place where hikers have to make a big decision.
We call this 5 Points because the red trail, the purple trail, the green trail, the yellow trail, and the path to the wood amphitheater all intersect here.
The amphitheater is another spot on the preserve known by more kids than adults. It's really a cool place to sit and rest.
Some kids on our summer nature program join our Playwrights of the Preserve group and use the amphitheater as a place to write and perform their plays.
Now we've crossed over onto the Yellow Trail, a popular trail for horseback riding. We love this trail because it's one of the only places on the preserve that hasn't been overrun by invasive species.
If you look closely, you can actually see the forest floor, and you can see that the tree canopy is pretty healthy. Many of our trees get damaged by invasive vines that choke the trees.
We'll end our hike here at the historic site, which is another cool spot to have a picnic. Back in 2009, some archaeologists and volunteers spent 2 months digging up the foundation, which dates back to the 1700s.
Among the many artifacts they found were 4 political campaign buttons celebrating the inauguration of George Washington, our first president. It's not uncommon for hikers to find artifacts while they walk along the trails.
We just ask that people leave them at the preserve and bring them back to the Nature Center so we can add them to our history displays. We hope you'll come visit us soon, and if you can't get here in person, please visit our website at schiffnaturepreserve.org.